Cool. Now we just got to wait for Instagram. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. We are very excited to introduce you to Maggie Julowski, our new Clinical Research Program Manager at Hope for HIE. Maggie brings an incredible mix of experience in research and advocacy, and she's diving into some really important work to help make sure that our HIE families are included in research and truly represented. So we're going to chat with her about her professional background, what drew her to this role, and how her work is going to help bridge that gap between research and real life experiences of our community. So I won't speak a lot for her. I'll let her do that. So we'll just get started. Hi, Maggie. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So fun fact, Maggie is in Vietnam right now for 5 more days. And I'll let you get into it about like where you are and why and where you're going. So I don't speak for you. How about you give us a brief overview of your professional journey, where you are, and how you came to be a team member at Hope.
Yeah, sounds great. So again, I'm Maggie. My position now will be the Clinical Research Program Manager for Hope. And my background is healthcare researcher and patient advocate. So my work is really centered around improving patient-centered outcomes, and especially in areas with limited support or in areas where research is kind of new. So that's really kind of what drove me to Hope for HIE. I have worked in academic settings and nonprofit research settings across adult populations and pediatric populations. But this is really one of the first to specialize in neonatal research, so I'm really excited there. But overall, it felt like a really natural fit. And a lot of what stood out for me was the organization, how mission-driven it is, not just in the words of the mission, but actually how it shows up. And something I really loved is that Hope offers these like amazing wraparound services and supports, and so many different programs like the peer support program and the ambassador network. And overall, I just felt like it was going to be a great opportunity to work with like a passionate, connected community. And yeah, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have you. And so for those of you who don't know what the Clinical Research Program Manager does, I mean, it's a long title, I guess. Maggie's going to help outline the scope of that. So she's going to go over some of her primary responsibilities, how those will help impact some of our families. So that can be things like the halo of support, coordinating family input for some of our active clinical trials. And then I know you're also going to talk about that HIE registry work too. So go for it.
Yeah, exactly. So at a high level, this position is supporting and shaping clinical research. Something that's crucial for that. Partnerships, we're looking at, essentially working with groups like, for example, the Cool Prime study and the Rialto academic industry partners already going on. And then also seat at that table. So advising.
I'll pause you, Maggie, just because I know internet is going in and out.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
It's not your fault, and that's why I said she's in Vietnam. We knew.
You speak to, but we can go back to that. Yeah.
But now you seem reconnected. So okay. If you could, I know you were starting to talk about some of those, like the Cool Prime. Yeah.
Okay, I'll backtrack just a bit.
It's not your fault.
So essentially, we're going to be looking at who's doing research in this space and how we partner with them. So that might be industry, that might be academic partners, but most important, it's making sure that families come to that table as well, and that families are there to advise, provide input on study design, outcomes that matter. I know this is a really crucial component of doing research in this space because researchers need to understand what that experience is like for families who are experiencing the journey of HIE and at all different points. And so it's not just consenting and at the beginning and enrolling at diagnosis, but also what is happening as children age and what outcomes are most important and what kind of supports they need across this journey so that we can incorporate those into clinical trials and other research that's being conducted across the community. I know you also mentioned the Halo for Support program, which I think is a really unique program, but it's ensuring that families who are involved in research also have guidance and emotional support and practical resources that help them navigate the complexities of HIE. So it's not just specific to clinical trials, but if families are experiencing stress or uncertainty, they can utilize this program that they're connected to through Hope to receive that support and receive, it's kind of like your own little advocate there for your family that can help in times of need, which I think is a really amazing program and really unique to ensure that people participating in research can access that.
Yeah. And then I know that things are ramping up a little bit more with the HIE registry. That's a big goal of ours. If you want to talk a little bit about how you might be involved in that work too.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for this. I'm like excited to be jumping and joining the team at this point. So we are utilizing partnerships that are already in place, and then thinking about how can we be collecting meaningful outcomes and better data that looks at this whole journey of HIE and not just within the first few months or 1 year or 2 years, but really how can we start collecting these long-term outcomes in a more centralized way. So, like I said, we're partnering with CPRN, and they bring their expertise in registry design, privacy, security. They've already been working across, I think, like over 35 sites. And so because of that, we're not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but we can learn from them, and then we can take that to the HIE community and really build this inclusive data collection practice across different sites. But something that's going to be really important for that is involving families. So making sure that the questions are right, making sure that any of the data collection practices are really thoughtful and inclusive of any security or privacy concerns. And so I would hope to encourage anyone who's interested in research to be a part of this project at this exciting time with us.
Oh, yeah. And I know that when things come to that point where we're going to start getting community members involved, we're going to be really clear about that too. We're going to post and we're going to encourage all of that. So more information will come as we have it. But we always end our Q&As. This is a quick little meet and greet, but our Q&As with any type of favorite or recommended resources. So in terms of like the relevancy to your role, any suggested tools or resources for our community members to use when they're learning maybe more about current or upcoming clinical trials, or anything else you can think of to help guide them would be wonderful.
Yeah, something that has been crucial for me getting up and running and established in the role has been the website. The team has built such a beautiful website. So I encourage others to always check that out. Um, like you said, any kind of upcoming events, opportunities to get involved, announcements are all posted there, and it's a really nice hub for really understanding what areas we're focusing on and what's ahead. Specific.
We paused again, but maybe you'll catch up. Oh, there
Oh,
you are.
okay.
We're like 2 more minutes.
Yeah, I was just gonna finish by saying, if you go to under the and I think it's clinical
Yes.
all of our current studies. So that's a great part to get involved.
Now, if that didn't come through, we'll check in the recording, the edited part, but you said the clinical research trial hub. We will link that on the blog and everything. But yes, that has all of our active clinical trials. It also has resources and tools for parents to learn more about getting involved in clinical trials, and it's everything like that. So thank you so much. We'll give your internet a break. Here, doing some overtime.
I'm in the middle of relocating.
Yes.
But I'll be relocating and happy that this is a remote position.
Yes. Yes. Yep. So she's there for another few days, and then I know she's gonna be a little bit more domestic for some time before you go abroad again. But we love having that international representation and to reach out to those parts of the world. We're so excited to have that and have you be part of that. So if there's anything that comes up and you have questions for Maggie or about how to get involved, you can watch this Q&A. You can go to our key takeaways, which will be posted in a few short days. You can always reach out to her too. But we're so grateful to have you. And thank you again so much for being here and for being part of our team.
Yay, thank you so much. Thanks for hosting.
Of course.
Bye.